Welcome to the News Ferret with me, Dick Scoop.
And me, Lainey Lisewell.
Police must do their bit. Peter Kyle, the Science and Technology Secretary, said yesterday that Labour was facing pressure from all sectors and not everyone will get what they want. Does anyone have any idea who Peter Kyle is? I've got no idea. I'm sure he's doing a sterling job. He said, "We expect the police to start embracing the change they need to do their bit for change as well. Money is part of how we change our country for the better, and reform, modernisation, using technology, doing things in the way people would expect our public services to be doing in the 2020s is the other part." If that quote is accurate, I don't think English is his first language. Police chiefs have already warned that this will mean they have to choose which crimes to ignore. So what is the point of having a police if they're going to need to ignore crime? Is this what he means by doing their bit? Just ignore certain crimes? In essence, it's a pretty good time to be a burglar. I would think a career change could be worth considering. I am sure there are things that could be done to cut costs in policing, but that isn't my job to find them. It's theirs. All I know is it feels like we don't have enough police presence and crimes aren't getting solved. So it's the government's job to fix the problem. And I don't think just saying that they'll have to do their bit is a fix. Anyway, what do I know?
I don't think the police will be very happy with that.
No, Lainey, I don't think they will.
A runaway pet zebra was on the loose in Tennessee. He only arrived in Tennessee the day before and immediately escaped onto the freeway, leading to it being closed before Ed ran off into the woodland. Ed the zebra was eventually captured and airlifted safely back home. Locals say Ed clearly had trouble adjusting to the main roads.
Well, that was fucking terrible. Rachel Reeves delivered the June spending review and promised the world. More money for health, more money for housing, more money for transport. All sounds good. But the money has to come from somewhere, right? The Home Office has had a cut, despite Rachel's promise to speed up the migration delays and solve the migrant hotels issue. Spending money on social housing and solving the migrant hotel issue does smell like just moving people from hotels to houses. Also, cutting the Home Office budget is just going to make illegal immigration worse. Cuts to education also saves a few bob. It's like they want us to be stupid though. She's also not ruled out taxation increases, even though it breaks the manifesto they were elected on. Overall, sounds pretty good, but when you start digging around, I can't see anything changing.
Labour wouldn't break a manifesto promise.
No, it would be unheard of.
A man woke up to find a 135-metre cargo ship in his backyard. A Norwegian man was awoken by his neighbour when a cargo ship crashed and ran aground, missing his home by a few metres. Mr. Hellberg said, "The doorbell rang at a time I don't like to answer it, and just wanted to go back to sleep. But my neighbour was constant, so I answered. And there's a guy I know very well standing there, looking at me in amazement and saying, 'Have you not seen the ship?' But I hadn't, so I went to the window and saw the ship." Police force said an investigation would be launched to try and find out what happened. He added there was currently no suspicion of anyone being under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Apart from you, Lainey.
Fuck off, Dick.
Greta Thunberg deported. Well, the voice of a generation is back in the news again with a well-worked advertising campaign for herself where she stood up against the tyrannical Israeli regime. I call bullshit. She hadn't been talked about for a bit, so thought she would go and poke a country that really doesn't give a shit who she thinks she is. Greta and her cronies decided it would be a good idea to try and sail into Gaza through the blockade that Israel has had in place since 2007. So, with a boat full of baby formula, flour, some plasters and a few books, she took to the high seas in order to solve all the wars of the world. Surprise, surprise. The Israeli army did what they said they would do and stopped the boat. She was given the opportunity to either fight for her principles in court, as some of her team did, or get deported home. Greta said, "Fuck that, I'm going home," and left her principal cohorts in Israel. After a nice flight back home, she said that she had been kidnapped. The evidence doesn't really support that though, as Israel couldn't wait to get rid of her and get her back to Sweden. So Greta, how dare you be such an attention-seeking annoyance?
I quite like Greta.
Because you're a simpleton. Israel strikes Iran. Now, I know there are always at least two sides to every story, but I am with Israel on this. Iran has pushed and poked Israel to a point where they had to do something. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Summit or other, has said that Israel is a cancerous tumour to be removed from the region, and that Israel will not exist in 25 years. The Iranian parliament has said that Tel Aviv and Haifa will be levelled. Yesterday, the IAEA stated that Iran has failed to meet its required safeguard obligations under its agreements. The agency highlighted the discovery of undeclared nuclear material at 3 sites where inspectors previously visited, and Iran also reportedly obstructed verification efforts, including attempts to sanitize these locations before the IAEA inspections. Iran has also funded Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, and we all know what those guys have been doing. To me, this is very simple. Iran bad. Israel struck at military leaders, including Major General Hossein Salami, I think that's the spicy salami, Major General Buggery, neither of which I believe to be the very model of a modern Major General, and some nuclear scientists, plus military and nuclear facilities. To be clear, they did not strap a bomb on and wander into a street. I mean, if you were Israel, what would you do? Also, Operation Rising Lion is a very cool name.
Scary time, Dick.
Fucking hell.
And in other news, a man in Detroit did a poop and run in a shoe store. An employee witnessed the whole thing. He came straight into the store and didn't even talk to anybody. Went straight to the shoe aisle. He didn't even try to hide it. He just pulled his pants down, pooped, didn't even wipe. Walked straight out to the car and left. The shitter entered the store at 10:13 and was out by 10:17. So I presume he was primed and ready to go before entering the store. If you or anyone you know has any information on the shoe aisle shitter, call the Detroit authorities.
Yep, you got me. It's a funny story. Good night, all.
Good night.
Pub.
We deserve it.